Hello, hello. Welcome to Making Memories with Melody. I'm over here on YouTube after being inspired, watching some videos on making a fairy door junk journal cover. So here I am. I've gotten quite a bit done, but I thought I would go ahead and stop and start videotaping while I was doing this part, and we could talk a bit about how I got this far. So this is cardboard, these pieces right here. I got a box and I cut it up. It's an Amazon box. I did use two different kinds of cardboard, but the one that is the door and these stones is just a normal everyday box that would come in the mail, maybe bearing gifts from Amazon or one of your favorite Etsy stores. Who knows? Everybody has their shopping places, don't they? It's so fun to shop. So, how is everyone out there in YouTube land today? It sounds like my dogs have spotted something that they're going to want to communicate about. And so you're going to hear them in the background. I got my hands completely disastrously messy getting this book cover going, but it was so much fun. So what I did is I have a Dollar Tree book cover, hardcover, that I gutted. And I gessoed it with black gesso. And from there, I'm trying to remember exactly the sequence of events. It was one of those things where you kind of get in the zone and you don't necessarily think about what you're doing and how it's going. You can just feel that it's going right. So I gessoed it with black like this one, right? Then I cut out a template, which is right here, of a fairy door. Then I cut that template into strips and glued them onto the black gesso with matte gel, which is just 1 second. Well, let me share my matte gel with you. And I don't mean matte gel right this second. I mean black gesso. That's what I mean right here. So I use Art Basics Heavy Gesso and Dina Wakley Black Gesso. I'll go back and forth between the two. My favorite, though, is the Art Basics. They both do a good job, though. And so that was to prepare the surface and make it all one color, because originally the book was this color. And it's kind of nice because it's like almost a linen texture, so that was kind of nice. It's not slick. It wasn't difficult to get a nice adhesion on there. So from that point, so it's all black, and I glued on the door pieces. Then I took and tissue paper and I collaged over the top. And because I was wanting to have it have a textural feel to it, I collaged in a random way, pieces here, there, and everywhere. And I did that with this matte gel, which is a Master's Touch product, matte gel. And so then that left me with cardboard colored doors and a white background. Then I took this Anita's, which is a very inexpensive brand, craft paint acrylic, and it's espresso bean, and I painted over the door with that. That's the only medium that I've put on that after I did the decoupaging with the tissue paper. And so I'll be doing a lot more to that, but for right now, that was enough to make me feel like it looked like it was going to end up going where I wanted it to go. Because this is going to take a lot of preparation to get this to look from cardboard to stone and wood. But it's going to be a fun process, that's for sure. So I thought I'd come in here and say, hey, I'm going to come back tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I'm here in Oregon, a suburb outside of Portland, Oregon. And I am going to continue to mix media this door. And it was important that I got this much done beforehand because it has to dry. Each layer, like I did the layers before what I'm doing now, and let them dry, and then came back and I'm doing this. I'm sealing the edges of my cardboard with this matte gel so that the paint doesn't soak in and give a different color or texture versus the rest of the project. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Plus I want a very good solid adhesion because I don't want one of these to just fall off in somebody's hand, right? So I always take some extra time with putting things on my covers for durability and sturdiness. Okay, so there's about half of it done, and we've been just talking for a few minutes. Hi, Wilma. How are you, sweetie? How's things in West Virginia? So this fairy door, I was thinking, Wilma, and this will make you happy just like it is me, but I was thinking about doing another purple journal and do it behind the fairy door. Now, I don't know that I'm going to put fairies in it. Fairies aren't really my thing necessarily, and I don't have a lot of product per se for fairies, but I was thinking floral, botanical, nature, Edith Holden, that kind of thing. So not so much fairy as in just nature. And I hope that that sounds good because I think that that's what I can manage the best. So I hope that's not going to work there. I'm going to have to bring this over and grab a different one. That's the thing. It's kind of like a bit of a puzzle. And I wonder if I should bring this down a bit. So you can see it a little bit better. I'm almost wondering if that one's going to end up going to need to go on the side because they have to kind of fit at least as well as a nope, I don't like that one either. Well, I don't know if I'm going to find one that I like for that spot. Maybe the curve is just what's throwing me off. Yeah, this one might do it. There we go. That'll work. That'll work well enough. Now I made sure not to make my door wood pieces perfect. I cut them and I just didn't take the time to try to achieve perfection because I don't think perfection is what a fairy door needs to create realism or the atmosphere you're looking for, right? Okay, so now maybe, yeah, that one can go there now. Now we got a spot for it. Just like a puzzle. Just got to be patient, put it together. But I was thinking Edith Holden, and I have what's called Stamperia's alphabet letters. No, alphabet flowers. Alphabet and letters is the same thing, isn't it? So I thought, because I was working with that, making my friend Abby a little happy mail. Her video yesterday was gave me the urge to create her little something to help her get through some of her pain. But so I had my alphabet flowers out from Stamperia, and I thought that and a fairy door and possibly even some Provence from Stamperia. I mean, there's some really beautiful purple kits out there, paper packs. Beautiful, beautiful ones. I just haven't had an opportunity to work with much of them because I was always doing either steampunk or now I'm working a lot on Halloween, which I do want to do majority of this month because it's just going to be gone and you're not going to really have an opportunity to come back to it until next year because you got to do these things seasonally. Boy, this is just going to turn out cute. Not perfect, but cute. I don't ever try to make anything perfect. And I don't suggest that anyone does try. You may be disappointed if you can't make it perfect, and then That takes all the fun out of it, doesn't it? So let me get a different one. That one's too much the same like the other one. Here we go. I get this matte gel all over my fingernails, and boy, let me tell you, it takes me a while to get it all off. A while, for sure. But it works like gangbusters. I learned it from Marta over at Maramy Small Arts. She uses a different brand than I do, but she's in Ireland, and I use a Hobby Lobby brand. And I think she, I don't know what stores they have in Ireland. I know a lot of the Canadian and UK members of my group told me they don't have the same stores that we do here, so I wouldn't assume they do in Ireland either. Let's see. I'm going to have to maybe cut one special size for the end there, but I think that actually turned out pretty well, even though I had a little bit of an issue a couple of times. Nothing I couldn't get through. I do want to make sure that I seal up these outside edges, because like I said, I don't know if I'm going to do alcohol inks or acrylics, but I want it to hit this surface and stay reacting the same to everything. So if it's part of it is hitting cardboard and part of it's hitting matte gel or gesso, it's all going to react differently, which may add to it, but that's just not what I'm wanting to do this time. So let's see if this will fit here. Sure is close. I think if I cut it off just a bit. Okay. Here we go. So I'll be back here 6 o'clock tonight doing mixed media with Melody, and we will finish up decorating this door because it'll be dry, and I'll go over again for those who didn't get to see this video yet how we got to this point. There we go. What do you think? Now, I also have some ideas for metals, like a door handle, and maybe even door jambs, or not. Is it door jambs? Door hinges. But I haven't completely decided on that because they're kind of big, and I'm worried that they may overpower it, so that may not end up happening. I don't know. I don't know about that part. And I don't know if the structure of this is I don't know how to say it, like if the sizing of the door versus the hinge, I don't know how that all works, and I don't know if I've gotten it correct, but this is just an interpretation of a fairy door, and so I'm not expecting to have a real life scale or anything like that. Thank goodness. Imagine the math that would go into that. Hi, Bonita. How is your day going? Okay, so there we go. Now, what I'll do in the next video, I'm going to paint black on there right now, and then we're going to be done with this, and we'll come back tonight at 6, and all of this will be dry, and we'll be able to work with it. But for right now, I wanted to make sure that I got the black on there because I wouldn't be able to do that and let it dry in the next video, right? And this is where I always get the messiest, I'm telling you. Messy, messy, messy. But I'm just getting used to it, you guys. My day isn't normal if I don't have a certain amount of black gesso or colored alcohol ink on me, my clothing, my nails, my hands. Who knows? Who knows? Definitely have ruined quite a few outfits. So I try to get better about not wearing my good clothes down here. Definitely. So I've got a few options what I can do with this outer ridge of bricks. I can make it a red tone brick. I can do an imaginary colored brick. I mean, I can make it teal or blue or orange or anything I want. That's what I got to kind of decide is, am I going for any amount of realism in this, or am I going to go complete fantasy? So that's the part I don't know. But I do know that whatever I decide, this will just be kind of my prototype. I call things prototypes when I make it for the first time. It always teaches me. If I give myself the freedom to make mistakes, especially in the first round of something, it teaches me what not to do next time, and or, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have thought that that would work. I'm glad I tried it, kind of thing, right? Now I've got to get a little bit more detailed and careful about getting closer to my wood. Don't want to mess it up too bad, although I could probably paint over it a bit, but I want to just be careful. So I made sure to get a brush that was a little bit narrower, not real bushy, and this is an angled brush with a nice close knit bristles. And so this, there we go. See, I'm already, I wish I had something. I don't know, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like I said, I could paint over that if I needed to. But I would just, I don't know, you know, like to get it right the first time. There we go. So are there any votes? Hi, Linda. How are you? You made it. I'm going to be back at 6 tonight. Oh, I'm sorry about you having trouble with your sound. Hopefully it's not me. I have my microphone plugged in. Does anyone have any suggestions about the brick? Should I go ahead and do a traditional variegated red or black with white speckles, like a granite or something? I don't know. I gotta think about it, because once I decide that, that'll kind of give me the feel for the whole background there, because I'll need that to stand off of the actual background, which what I was going to try to achieve, which, you know, our minds definitely come up with great ideas that our hands can't follow through with. But I'd like to stencil some ivy on here and have ivy coming up the building or the side of the mountain, wherever this little fairy door is hanging out. Oh, thank you so much. This is an absolutely fabulous black gesso, heavy gesso from Art Basics, and it is a wonderfully thick and it really, and I did put the tissue paper down there, so we have a textured, almost like a stuccoed wall, or I don't know if stucco is the right word. Stucco is that pointy and rough. I'm thinking more like anyway, some sort of handmade wall that would be textured. This is going to have a lot of drying to do, because there's the matte gel under there and the gesso on top. How fun is a fairy door, though, huh? Alrighty, just gonna look around real quick, make sure that everything is taken care of, and I think we are ready to let this dry until 6 tonight, which for me, that's about 3 hours. Well, it's the same for everybody, but it's 3 o'clock here, so 3 hours from now. We'll come back and we will start to think about how we want to move forward with this. But isn't it amazing that that's just cardboard? Oh, Bonita, you're sitting at the hospital watching. Purplish? We can figure that out. So, and then I painted the inside, this much of it, so that I don't have to worry about when I cover the inside. It's already taken care of. So that part's thinking, and I left the back and matte finish with just the linen from the actual book cover texture. So I'm going to try to fix this up, make sure there's nothing showing differently, and then I'm going to put this brush in the water, and we're going to call this done until 6 o'clock tonight, ladies. So we'll all come back 6 o'clock tonight, 3 hours from now, live here on YouTube, Mixed Media with Melody. Oh, Linda, are you? Oh, it's 6 p.m. right there now, so then you're on the East Coast. Hi, the little gypsy. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. So, this was what the book looked like before I started. Dollar Tree book. Gutted. This is what the door looked like before I started. Cardboard. Right? Then this is what the book looks like after you gesso it. Right? Beautiful. Isn't that just gorgeous? Almost on its own right there. Then I put the, I have another one cut here so that you could see the parts that go to this. I took the door and cut it out with a template. Cut them into strips, and then the strips that go across. And then there's another cute idea that's coming up, and that is where we use little half peas, like what are they? Some kind of peas. Some sort of green peas, but there's split peas, right? These little peas. And we're going to glue those on there, and that's going to be our metals. Isn't this going to be fun, you guys? This is going to be awesome. So I will see you later, and be thinking crafty thoughts and having a wonderful day, and we'll hook up. Bye-bye.